It's me again. I know I just got off here about an hour ago, but I was sitting out there on my porch, and First Samuel chapter 3, verse 17 started to speak to me again. It was the only verse that spoke to me today out of all the scriptures that I took and read today, and the only verse of scripture that really didn't talk to me, since this week, since I've been down a little bit, but out of everything, it spoke to me. So, I was sitting out there on the porch, picking up a whole lot of stuff in the spirit realm, as well as me just trying to this shit, get my thoughts together, and it started coming to me about bringing down the numbers in there, and had me looking at the numbers, and then I started to feel that there was a date in there, and the feeling that I had wasn't the wrong feeling. It's just that it was a little bit more than a date that was in there. And like I said, I have did this whole chapter. I broke down this whole chapter with the letters, the words, and the numbers and all that. But don't know why I didn't did what was in one of these books. And like I said, I've spoke about the stuff in First Samuel chapter 3 many times. And like I posted earlier today, I was told to read it 35 times the other day, but not in that way. I was told to read it at 12 noon 7 times, at 3 p.m. 7 times, at 6 p.m. 3 times, at 9, I did that wrong. Forgive me. I was told to read it at 12 noon 7 times, at 3 p.m. 7 times, at 6 p.m. 7 times, at 9 p.m. 7 times, and then at midnight 7 times. So that was me reading the whole chapter of 1 Samuel chapter 3 35 times. And as I said, and when I posted below, when I got to realize that the number 35 was there, the first thing I thought about was the vision or the dream that Pastor Troy Byers had down there in Texas, about him coming up on I-35 and the visions and the stuff that God had been revealing to me about New York since like 2011, coming all the way up to 2016. So I went to thinking about that, and as I was saying on that, I started thinking about. So I was sitting out there on the porch. It just, coming to me to start. I started breaking down the numbers in my head while I was sitting out there. The Bible was in here, and it come to me, to go backwards with it, not to go frontwards. So I'm sitting up there saying to myself, okay, this is somebody playing games with me that know that sometimes I do what I do going backwards, and sometimes backwards speak to me more than the frontwards. But little do I know that what was coming to me was actually guiding me back to something that I had missed. Now, whether it was God or whether it was one of his servants speaking or when not, it was guiding me back towards what he has me read now every day, because I'm read 1 Samuel chapter 3 every day in the morning when I get up, or Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 9 to 14 every day when I get up 3 times. I'm reading the order Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 9 to 14 3 times, 1 Samuel chapter 3 1 time, Ezekiel chapter 7 1 time, chapter 8 1 time, chapter 9 1 time. This is in the morning. And Micah chapter 2 verse 1 and 3. And then at night, I'm supposed to read 1 Samuel chapter 3, Ezekiel chapter 7, Ezekiel chapter 8, and Ezekiel chapter 9 at night. And I'm supposed to do that, all the way to September the 23rd. I'm also supposed to, when I prayed, now it's been added Ezekiel chapter 5, but I was told in the very beginning to read Ezekiel chapter 8 and Isaiah chapter 6 every time after I pray. And then about a couple of weeks ago, it started coming to me to go Ezekiel chapter 8, Ezekiel chapter 5, and then Isaiah chapter 6. So, you know, when this come to me out on the porch to take and do this with 1 Samuel, because the only verse that spoke to me was verse 17, I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking, so, okay, somebody sitting in the spirit realm, they trying to manipulate, and this, that, and the other. And I've been saying, even though I've been kind of hurt and bothered, that, you know, all the stuff I had on Facebook was wiped out, you know, and I went there thinking about, you know, how Facebook started to do this stuff right after the administration changed. I started thinking about how certain people are only able to take and get their stuff out. So I've been going through that too, and I've been trying to realize that, hey, it's God's glory that they're trying to steal, if it's God that's speaking to you. So if it's God that's speaking to you, you got to hold on to what you was told, that whoever come against this message, that he will fight against. So anyway, what moved me to really get on here and even do this, because I was gonna stop doing it with the letters and the numbers and whatnot. What moved me to get on here was this video that I was watching of this guy, and he was breaking down the year 5786, and he was talking about how the Hebrew alphabet, how it explained that. Oh, I'm gonna post the video, but the video that this guy taking and doing the Hebrew alphabet with the numbers is speaking on everything I've been speaking on to y'all for a while now. And I didn't even know this. I didn't even know them letters represent that, and talking about a hook and talking about cutting off and bringing something to completion. I've been saying that in these videos, that I've been having the feeling that God is getting ready to bring something to a completion. That God is getting ready to take it's things that he's been saying to us, you know, starting to, you know, gonna get ready to start, you know, making it known that it was him that was speaking. That we need to be mindful of this 369 thing. That we need to be taking and preparing, because here it is, we in the middle three leading to the last three of the 333. Because the last of the year of the 333 that shows up in the year of the 69. And that's what makes this so important when I'm getting ready to do. Because you have the first 3 years that we went through, the second 3 years that we getting ready to come out, and then the last 3 years that we getting ready to go into, starting at the year of 69. That's what makes this so important. I need you to pay attention, because I thought if somebody was trying to play games with me and manipulate, and I ain't gonna do all, I'm just gonna do this part. But if you take and you go backwards, like it was coming to me on the porch, you get 6 parts. And that, when I talk about the parts, like I try to explain to you about commas, periods, and all that. So that's reflecting that, you know, the 6-part thing. So you got 6 parts, and then you got 46 words. So if you're going backwards and you do that 6 to 46, you add that up, that's 52. So now here you got right here, it's the 17th verse. So you got 6 parts, got 46 words, and the 17th verse. So when you do the 17th verse and you add the 17th verse up to the 52, you get 69. The verse is 17. It's 17. Now you get 69, and that's the middle. That's the middle. You get 69 in the middle, because you got part 6, words 46, that's 2. You got verse 17, that's 3. That's the middle, because you only got 2 things left to this, okay? And doing it this way, you got 2 things left to this. It's told to go backwards just to do the things planned. So when you take and do that, you get 69 in the middle, because when you take and you add the chapter onto it, the chapters is 3, that's 72. Okay, then you got 1 Samuel. You add the 1 on it, that's 73. So you got 2 other parts after that, so that would make the middle 3. Altogether, you got 5 things tied in this. You got 1 Samuel, that's 1. Chapter 3, that's 2. Verse 17, that's 3. Words 46, that's 4, and then you got the parts to it, that's 5. So the middle of 5 is 3. So we getting to 69. Remember, I've been talking about the year of 69 that we're getting ready to enter to September the 23rd of 2025. So the middle is 69. And then after you take and you do that with the middle, the very next thing that comes is 3. And I've been talking about the last 3 years of the 339. It's in these videos they took down. You can still find some of the videos on YouTube, and then I still got some of them stored up. So it's confirmation in this verse. And look what this verse says. Pay attention to what this verse says. The verse, 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 17. And he said, what is the thing that the Lord God has said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. That's the middle. God do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. Now, Eli is saying to Samuel, he want to know everything that the Lord said. He know that the Lord is speaking. Okay, hide none of it from me. Okay, hide none of it from me. Now, the middle of the 6 parts is you would take, and you would in the middle of the 6 parts you would be 3, which would be 3 and 4. Okay, which would be 3 and 4. So if you do the middle, of that, the first part in that, and then what that you get, you say, I pray thee, you had nothing. I pray thee had not from me. I pray thee had it not from me. Now in this, when he said that, he's saying this in 8 words, 24 letters. We just went through this in something else that I just posted. Okay, showing y'all about Pope Francis. With that in Luke, chapter, chapter 1. Forgive me, Lord. Forgive me. Because order. And you know, I believe in the gift. But spirit of Ivan. Plead the blood of the Lamb on his spirit. Okay, that spirit that's in the church is misleading. See how they don't want me to talk to y'all? That's not God, y'all. And that's the spirit that's in the church. But if you take and you pay attention, this will Pope Francis, excuse me, my mouth been real dry because antibiotics and stuff that I'm taking. Pay attention to this. In that verse, it was verse 56 of Luke chapter 1 in there about Mary and the 3 months. There we go with that 3 again. Now in there, I showed y'all where the 69 was in there. And yet we know that Pope Francis is 69 years old. He got elected when he was 69 years old. Pope Leo the 14th was 69 years old when he got elected. Now I showed y'all all this, and that's in the last video I posted. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. Okay? Now pay attention to this right here. Pay attention to this. When you go back, I showed y'all where you get the 69 in the middle. If you go frontwards, you cannot get that 69. You cannot get that. You cannot get that 69. What is it saying? It's saying to us that we in the church need to go back to the things that we know have to do with the church and is about the church. Because I can't get this number if I go frontwards, but what I do get is I get the number 21 in the middle. Okay? Now if you go forward, you go 1 Samuel 1, chapter 3, that's 14. 1 Samuel, hold on. I did it wrong. First Samuel, chapter 3, you get 4. The middle is 17. So 4 and 17, you get 21. Remember, I told you we in the cycle of 21. But what does that 21 breaks down to? It breaks down to 3. And you continue to go on, and what do you get? You get 46 and 21 is 67. Okay, that's the year that we just came out of. Okay, because the year we in now is the year of 68, going into the 69, and then you take and you add the 6 on that, you get 73. Okay, the same number that you come out with here, you get in the end, but the middle is different. So what it is I'm trying to say to y'all, if you pay attention, look how we getting these same numbers in here. If you go to the middle, the first middle part is the third part. You got 8 words, 24 letters. Okay, 8 words, 24 letters. What years we getting ready to come into? The year 5786. You got the 8 and the 8 words. 24 letters break down to 6. So you got 86 right there. Now watch this. Let's read the second part of the middle. Second part of the middle, it got right here. God do so to thee. He says this in 5 words. So if we go with the first middle, they got 8 words. And we go with the second middle, they got 5 words. We get the year 85. That's the year we in now, 5785. We in that right now. But if we go back, it's referring to the year 86 that we get ready to come into, that's reflecting the 69, that's pointing to us, letting us know that we need to go back to doing the things that the church used to do and getting away from all this other worldly stuff that's going on in church right now. And people saying, how do you come up with that? Now, this is how I come up with that. And matter of fact, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do this right here, because I don't want to make this complicated, because I ain't really broke it down in the way that I know it should be broke down. But here it is. You get the year 85 in the middle, and then the first middle you get also the year 86 in it. If you take and you go backwards to doing this, you can get 69, and then the 3 years that come out. That gives confirmation on what I was talking to y'all about. Even before all this come to be with Pope Leo the 14th and all that. All people, how is all this connecting like this? And out of everything that I read today, I done read this verse over and over and over again. I done talked to y'all about this verse before, and it never spoke to me like it spoke to me today. Or stirring me up like it did. Because it was the only thing that did speak to me. Okay, now it got 69 and 85, which we in right now, 57, 85, and it got 86. We get ready to come in with the 69, with the 3 years after. With the 3 years after. And then if you go, I'm gonna post this video with this guy ticking and talking about what the year 5786 reflect on, because I don't know the Hebrew letters and numbers like they do, and I don't want to mistreat, but it's just I don't even want to really use the word strange, but it is in a way. It's strange that it's the same thing that I've been talking about without knowing what they know. Same thing. Same thing. Can't tell me that numbers won't talk to you like words will. And then if you're paying attention, really studying, have your heart open, God won't let it do it. Can't tell me that these men that wrote this last King James Bible, that they done took and broke down and made this King James Bible right here out, didn't know something that they knew was going to be released later on. How's this lining up with the Hebrew alphabets in that way with someone that was never taught it? I've been talking about the year to 66 to the year to 69 for some years now. Not understanding none of the things that they've been talking about. I've been talking about the 369, the 333, all that for years now. How's all of it ending up with not missing a beat? And why would they take and wipe down all the videos on Facebook, especially the one on January the 7th, 2020, and the one that had to do with Ezekiel chapter 33, 34, 35, and 7, 8, 9. Why did they take them videos down? I made some mistakes in them videos, but it was some stuff to show why. Why? And why do only certain people be able to get their stuff all the way out? Now, I'm not saying that God is only talking to me, because I know that he's talking to a whole bunch of people. But why is it that the enemy has made it where it's been so hard for about what I've been doing for it to get out, when it's been shown over and over and over what I'm doing is not evil, it's not wrong, and it's even lining up with what the Hebrew alphabet and stuff points to. And I ain't been told none of it. None of it. Why I believe it's being revealed to me, why I believe it's being revealed to me. I'm not saying that's because I have a heart for God's word and wanting to know. Right there in this verse, and listen to what the verse says, and pay attention. I'm going to read the verse after. Okay, we'll read one up and one down, how I was taught in church by Pastor Jackson, by Pastor Grant. Verse 17. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, here am I. Verse 17. Eli called him. Okay, now he said, here am I. And then verse 17. And he said, what is the thing that the Lord has said unto you? What has the Lord said to you? I know that the Lord is talking to you. What has the Lord said to you? I know it's the Lord. I pray thee, had it not for me. God do so to thee. God do so to thee. He knew it was the Lord, because he knew God had been telling him the same thing even before it was released. He knew it. A lot of men and women know, but they think that that false grace message that they've been preaching is going to bail them out like it's been doing. But there's a lot of men, women of God, that God raised up in 93 and 1993 and 1996 for a time like this, that has turned their back on God. Yep. 93 come letters, stick with what I was told about the 90s. 1996, I'm sorry, y'all. Because I found out about 1993 later. Started off telling me about 1996. You turn 1996 around, and you turn the 96 around, what do you get? You get 69. There's a lot of y'all that really got blowed up after that has forgotten why the Lord let you get where you are. And he's talking to a lot of y'all. And I'm going to say that boldly. A lot of y'all. Okay? Now, he says, God do so to thee. Okay? And more also, he said, God, he knows God. God do so to thee. And more also, if thou had anything from me of all the things that he had said unto him, he knew that it was a lot. Because he knew that God had been speaking to him over and over about these things. Okay? Verse 18, and Samuel told him every whit, pay attention, and he hid nothing from him. And he said, Eli said, and he said, it is the Lord. Let him do what seems him good. A lot of you men and women of God know that it's God that's speaking to y'all through a wretch like me, through other people. But because y'all so caught up in that hype of that false grace message that they're all preaching, y'all think y'all going to escape one more time. One more time. Yeah, the moment you tried to do me in. But God's good. He know my heart. And a lot of y'all think y'all going to escape because y'all preach that false grace message. Y'all know what I mean by that false grace message. Because there's certain things that God is saying to us that his grace will only cover for so long, and y'all know it. The grace is given to give us time to get it right. Not given for us to keep on doing wrong and know we're doing it. Jesus told the woman to go forth and sin no more. Why did Jesus say that? Why did he say that, y'all? And why is it that this only verse that spoke to me today has the number 69 in the middle and then has the 3 coming right out there if you go backwards? If you go backwards. Church has gotten away from the things that truly have to do with God's word. And the body of Christ knows it. that knows him. And there's no coincidence that I end up listening to this man today, and he started talking about the year 5786, and while listening to him, I'm hearing everything that I've been trying to say for years. Through these numbers, letters, and words that the enemy and everybody else been trying to make me think that what I was doing was wrong and was evil and wasn't of God. It almost worked, y'all. It almost worked, y'all. Because I ain't gonna lie, when the videos got took down, I said, Lord, but you said, Lord, why did I hear so many times feed my sheep? Lord, why did I hear so many times get them the Lord? And I'm talking to him, I'm trying to figure out, I ain't got all of what they got, but the one thing I do got is I can pull it up on him and say, okay, well, the Lord was talking to me saying that I'm gonna hold on to that. Then y'all tried to take that away. But God, He still let me know. You men, women of God, and you leaders, y'all been warned. Okay? Again, the middle of this reveals the year 85 and the year 86 and has 69 in with the 3 years to come. I know I done gave this before. And no, God hasn't told me to say this. I'm saying this because of what everything is pointing to. What everything is pointing to. And the confirmation that I got from this guy taking and breaking down the Hebrew alphabet. If this is truly how it's been broken down to, you men and you women of God that's been feasting God's flock, whooping God's flock, doing all this other stuff, y'all can look for it in these next 3 years. I will really start doing what God told me to do before that year to 69 comes in. I will take and do a 399.99 turn. Okay? I'm taking post a video after that, and please, y'all that's in the city of Detroit, share that video that I posted earlier about Mike Duggan about Detroit and what's going on in the city. So maybe Mike Duggan and the city council could get wind of it, because this doesn't make any sense that our neighborhoods have to look like this. Yeah, we don't got everything that everybody else got, but if we trying to take care of the little that we got, that shouldn't be taken away from us either, because people don't want to do what they're supposed to do. So please share that video up under there. And please share this one too, because it's God talking. And we finna find out in a big way. Love y'all. Have a blessed day. Did I miss anything? Okay, 6 and 46 and 52. Turn 52 around, that's 25. Turn 52 around, that's 25. This is going backwards. Add the 17 on it. There you go. You got the 69. 69 shows up in the year to 25. Okay. After that, you got 3 years added on to that. So 3 years from now, if you take it and you count 3 years from now, and put you in the year of 72. Turn 72 around. What did you get? 27. I don't know what's going to happen in 2027 and after, but that's also the middle of the 3 years. It's always been about the middle. Message that I've been given, always been about the middle. And I got awakened to it when I was in Second Ebenezer Church in 2017 when Bishop T.D. Jakes came preaching, and he was preaching about the tare and the wheat. And he was talking about after that, something in me went off in the middle. And it ain't changed. Okay? So these next, I've been saying 18 months. The 18 months actually started, I think, either March or February, somewhere up around there. You go 18 months from then, that takes you to next year in September. Okay? So it's just big things that we still need to be watching out for. This building up to this too. But I really believe we need to watch out for two things. And this me again. And this, according to what I'm receiving. False revival and true revival. Ask God to lead y'all to these places. Start opening up y'all heart to Him, because He's going to be moving. He's going to be moving. And then sometimes you're going to shake up these places that's taking and doing all this false stuff to the way where the people that's misleading them ain't going to be there. So that should be a wake-up call for some of y'all to leave after that. You know, don't stay there with the other people being there coming up behind them, because remember, that's their daughters. So the same spirit flowing in them. If you don't see repentance in them, don't stay there. Okay? We're going to see both. We're going to see both. And we need to be praying about our food supply. I'm still receiving about chickens and cows. Okay? And I've been talking to you all about this going all the way back to what? 2020, 2019, somewhere around in there. We done seen some episodes in it, but I think something else is in the makings. Okay? And I told y'all, there's going to be a lot of, where it came to me that there was going to be a lot of devastation and destruction and stuff that was going to happen before the true revival will explode, because that was going to take and open up a lot of people's heart too. And even though I was given a warning about a flood that would happen, a house and stuff would be carried away and this, that, and other, I still have to say this, that we should have been able to take and see that happening to a Christian campsite with a bunch of little girls in it. They have the matrix, the birthing tool. We should have been able to see that. Why did God let that happen? Because things like that can't happen unless God let it happen, especially to those that's in his hands. Why did God step out of the way and let that happen? Out of all these seers, out of all these prophets, out of all these men and women, did nobody see the name of the camp that was going to be flooded? It having to do with a bunch of little girls, so they could have got them out of there. Why? Because God can give it to you like that. He can give it to you like that. And if my ex-pastor was to tell you the truth, Pastor Curtis I start coming up to him, telling him that it come to me to tell him, Nancy and Adam, you gonna see. I have been warned about for over 18 months that the devil was at the kids in the school. And I have been warned for over, 5, 6 years about the Vegas shooter, seeing a man going in and out of the hotel and all this for years. All the videos gone. Why? But back to somebody should have seen that. What is that saying to us? That clues me. Because I know God can reveal stuff like that. Got all these men and women of God that's able to see this stuff about President Trump going to be assassinated and the devil had President Trump, but we couldn't see this coming at our kids. Something is wrong.